Hi Facebook. This is Stella Scott, and today the sun is shining and it's -degrees, and it has been for several days, and it makes me exhausted. When it's cold, I get so tired. It's just, some people think the dark is the worst thing here in Sweden. Yeah, it's pretty bad when it's like dark. Sorry for adjusting. But the cold, on top of that, it's like really daunting. Anyways, today I am going to talk about implementation. And I got the idea because I'm going to attend an event of myself, or like a little workshop on implementation tomorrow. And what blocks us from implementation, that is what that is going to be about. And I have been thinking about this a lot, that when you have your own business, it's really important that you implement, but also when you're in a position in like a corporate world, you also have to be able to implement. And from what I have seen and learned with myself and with working with others and seeing others, is that there is really different ways of approaching implementation. There's the implementation where you just do, not checking out if you're doing the right thing. And then, of course, there's implementation where you say you're going to do something and you think you're implementing because you're planning. But planning is not implementation. Implementation is a kind of doing. And this thing here, the doing, is where I sort of get caught up once in a while with how people talk about implementation. I also right here want to say that if you don't know me from before, if this is the first time you're here, I do this every week on Thursday, 7 a.m. if you're in the United States on the East Coast, and 1 o'clock here in Europe. I'm in Malmö, Sweden. And I call this "What's Your Question?" And it could be something that someone has sent in to me, asked me, or something that has been arised somewhere where I'm going, or just an idea I've had. I've done a lot of these in Swedish. I did for 9 months in a row. I did this every Tuesday then. So I have a lot of topics that I would like that I can cover. But I get new topics, and my head is like constantly working, so I get new topics all the time. So this is a new topic, the implementation thing. And if you like what I do here, just click likes and give hearts and wows and all of that, because if you don't tell Facebook that you like what I'm doing, yeah, I will not show up. And of course, you have to like the page. The energized me. So when people get okay, where do I want to take this? I don't have like a script. I write down little notes on the backside of a receipt, like this, backside of something, but I don't have a script. And so that where do I want to go now? This is what happens in winter. Duh. All right, the to-do thing. That you're going to do a lot of things, and this is always celebrated. The doers are celebrated, and we hear that and we see that. It's all these like picture quotes and memes, and then these videos with sports people, athletes or the military, and they're doing horrible things, and you're just going through it. So and everybody's like, "Oh, I'll get so inspired." I don't get inspired at all. I don't get inspired in any way whatsoever. I feel like you're pushing, you're forcing yourself, you are putting yourself in a position where you have to do things that you don't really want to do. And that kind of implementation can be good at times. I mean, if you want to like win an Olympic gold medal, then there is like only one way to go. But then you have to like focus on what you're longing for. The longing is what creates the implementation. The implementation then is doing all the hard training and getting up early in the morning or whatever you have to do what needs to be done to get to the gold medal. So that is the videos in themselves might be inspirational for some people, not for me. I get more like discouraged. But they will not get you to do what you want to do, what you desire to do. But because what gets you to actually implement is your longing, your gold medal, whatever kind of gold medal that is for you. Perhaps it is about more free time, perhaps it's about getting to know yourself better, perhaps it's better sleep, perhaps it's like leaving your corporate job and opening a business. Whatever that longing is, that is what will help you get the things done. And sometimes it's also a question of being able to wait. And that, in my world, is a kind of implementation. What do I need to do now? I need to wait. A non-doing implementation. Nobody talks about this. I have not heard one person say this, that it's really a kind of implementation to wait. We always get inundated with this thought, this idea that you have to like get out and do it and be strong and forceful, but sometimes you need to sit down and be very soft and gentle and wait to see where to go. And this brings me to the there are many ways of implementation, but there's one kind of implementation where you just do, I want to go there, and then you just do, randomly do things. But there's also kind of implementation where you actually know what to do. And to get there, you have to use your brain, or you have to use your heart, and usually you also need to have some kind of crowd around you. It doesn't necessarily have to be a team. I do not have a team. I have a very good brain that helps me a lot, but I also have a couple of friends that are like doing the same kind of journey as I do. And they help me to find out, what am I supposed to do? Is my doing waiting? I've done a lot of that lately, because I am like changing my business. I'm changing the crowd I'm talking to, and while I do that, I'm just sort of I'm doing a lot of things. I'm doing this now, but I'm also contemplating, thinking, feeling, meditating, and waiting to see what kind of awareness that I am awakening within myself, and what kind of messages I get from the universe or people, or I attend a webinar or what I'm going to do tomorrow about implementation. So just rushing that kind of implementation can in reality bring you in the wrong direction. Instead of going there where your gold medal is, you might be going there in some kind of random place where nothing is really done. Sometimes you do things that needs to be done, the famous mistakes that you have to make. But if you just see them as a part of the learning, perhaps that is a part of the waiting to do things that, this was not really right. Whenever we learn something, we have to do. You cannot learn by not doing. I have been doing like a couple. Okay, how should I say this? In a group, I announced, does anyone want to practice sales calls with me? Not selling, but just practice. If you have your own business, you got to be able to talk to people and sell. And I've done that a lot. I've done sales calls since I was 16, because that's when I realized that I cannot have a job. I need to be my own. And I've been a dancer, and I've been a singer, and I've had my own company, and I've been selling a lot. So, but that has to evolve, and you have to practice. And I have a sales coach. And then I said, is there anyone out there interested in practicing? One person responded. So we have been doing a couple of practice calls with each other. But the thing, what I want to say here is that I want to implement my new knowledge when it comes to sales. But before I do that, I need to practice. Just as the athlete with the gold medal needs to practice. It's like running and weightlifting and whatever it is. No matter what kind of athlete you are, you have to have a lot of strengths to be able to go with your longing. And I would say not towards your longing, because it's the longing that you have within you that is like driving you in the direction of where you want to go. I used to say to my singing students that if you long for this, that will help you get into the practice room, because practicing singing is not always that fun. But you have to practice, and you also have to practice your sales. And if you want to sleep better, you have to practice that too. Isn't that weird? You know, the body just wants to sleep. But if you're out of that natural sleeping, you have to practice things to get back and help the body sleep the way it wants to sleep. It desires to sleep. The innate capacity the body has to sleep, to help your brain. So the implementation is so much more than just doing. So there is this other way of doing is also what I was saying. You have to be able to know what to do. So when I wait, while I wait, hello Diana, nice to see you. While I wait for the implementation and what it is that I'm supposed to do, that is when I gather the information from myself, or what is supposed to be done. As I said, I had this thing with the sales calls. I realized I have to learn more other ways, because I was feeling, and have been feeling all the time, and I never really did that. You know, you follow the script, you do this, but I have to still know something about, you know, what is my way of doing sales? What is my new way? So many things have happened since I started this, or since I last had some kind of training. So many things have changed within me. So it was like, okay, so what do I need to do the right thing for me now, so I can serve or help or assist or run along with the right people. I don't work with anybody. I don't. I say no to people, because I think you have to be a match, and I think it's a good thing to say no. It's a good thing for you, and it's a good thing for the person who is not your client right now. They might be your client in a year. But also learning to say no. That was so good when I did this call. Was that she was playing this potential customer, but very early in the call I could say, you know what? We're not a match. I can say that we're not a match, but I might know somebody who is a match for you. And that was so good. So when I implemented my own desire to learn more, I learned to say no. And I learned to say no in a way that felt good for me and for the customer. Yeah, whenever I talk, there's always a lot of things that I could say about implementation. Diana, do you have anything you would like to say? Any questions, any thoughts about implementation? I know you're a healer. I know you have clients and customers. I know you do a lot of awesome stuff. So if you have thoughts about this, please write something below here. And we can have a discussion, an interaction. Or if you like what I'm saying, just give me a thumbs up, or like have a heart float by. All right, let me see here. Who is that? Right, this thing. So when you implement, so you have this, you know, let's say you actually do know where you want to go. Then what often happens is that someone else is telling you what to do and it doesn't feel congruent. You have this resistance. That doesn't mean that it's wrong. It just means that you have a resistance, and you have to find out what is that resistance about. The procrastination. Also this thing of doing the wrong thing, you know, just doing. That is also a way of procrastination. That's not implementing. And this is so common you wouldn't believe. That people get into doing a lot of things that have nothing to do with going in that direction and your gold medal and your longing, but everything to do with stopping yourself from actually getting it done. I'm part of a lot of Facebook groups, and I see in these groups that there are some people that spend more time, much more time, in the group, talking and assisting and whatever they are doing, than actually spending time on their business, on their mission, or goal, or whatever your verbiage is for that. So daring to like step out of that, of like the Facebook group, and not just do in the Facebook group, because we learned that we should like be in contact and we should help out and be of assistance, and when you give you will get. So we're taught that, but are you doing it in a way that is good for you? It has to be good for you, otherwise your business will not grow. Otherwise you will not sleep well in the night. You will not have your stress levels go down. You will not look yourself in the mirror and say, I like her. She's a good one. She's my best pal. And you need that. You need to be your own best pal. So this is not, as you have noticed, this is not about how to implement and how to get out of the non-implementation. This is more like a philosophical thing of what is it and how can you do that in your best way. And if you don't have that, which I have been talking a little about before, that innate implementation center open in you, and you don't know how to do that, you do need help with someone that you can like bounce things off back and forth. Someone who is an implementer. To try to get help with your own implementation from somebody who's not an implementer is bound to fail. It will not work. And the best thing is also if it's somebody who has already done a lot of stuff. I've done a lot of stuff. I get things out of my hands, as we say in Swedish. Få saker ur händerna. I start things and then I do stuff and then I get things out into the world. If you don't have that like a natural thing for you, you need help from someone. You actually do need to find a coach. That could be me, that could be somebody else. It could be a program that someone has. It could be a community with other people are doing things. But that thing of having, people surrounding you or someone holding your hand. Not too much, because if someone is holding your hand, you can't move, But someone who's like there with you and helping you getting things done, which I've done too, a lot. Someone who can say, do this, try this, and who can help you keep your eyes on your goal. Over there. Whatever your target is, over there. So you don't go over here and do things, so they can say, wait, we're in, this is the direction. All right, thank you, this is the direction. And then move on. So find that help, that assistance, that pulls you, that helps pull you where you want to go. And don't look at yourself as a hopeless case. Oh, I never get anything done. I always do the wrong thing. Most likely it's only because you didn't go in the right direction to find help. It's okay to get help. When we talk about these, when I talk about these and see these videos, with the athletes and the military doing things that I just find, they're always in some kind of, how I see it, some kind of lone position, Yeah, it's like it's your strength, your inner something. But we are group beings. Humanity feels better moving in herds. When we're together with other people, we can catch on the strength and the capacities of others. And that way our own strength and capacities can bloom and flourish. So find people to be with that can be of assistance to you at the same time as you are of assistance to them. So I'm done for today, for now. I have one more thing. I was just glancing here. One more thing. That implementation, so because there are like three kinds of videos that we see. We also see the people that have this horrible disability, really impaired in some way, with no arms and or no legs, and then they do incredible things. I've done that. I'm more with club feet, which means that my feet were really crippled when I came out, and then I became a dancer. Duh. Yeah. So that is the strength I have to really go and do what needs to be done to move there. I could not like dance on tiptoe, but I became a dancer and I formed my own group and all of that. But it's not as simple for most people to just get your shit together if you don't have this inner thing. I had it. That's why I did it. Had I not had that, would it have been possible for me to even move in that direction and become a dancer? I do not think so. I think it's because my inner design helped me in moving in that direction. Had my inner design, or this is called human design, had my human design not been created in that way, it would not have been possible for me. So I don't want you to feel bad when you can't do something, because what I see is that a lot of the time that these movies, videos, people, motivationals, whatevers, that have some kind of physical challenge, that they are used to give you a bad conscience. Why don't you get your shit together? You have arms. Why don't you get your shit together? You have eyes. Why don't you? That will not help you. That is not motivational. That is putting you down. And then you'll have, as I was talking about last week, those negative voices beating you over your head in your own head. You don't need that. Don't go where people say that you should get your shit together. Be respectful towards yourself. Find people or the coach, the help, the assistance, where people will be with you and not try to blame you for the challenges you have. You are responsible to handle them and deal with them, yes, but the blame and shame game and get your shit together game is not gonna get you anywhere. You will implement zilts, nada, nothing. All right, that was today's, I don't know what to call it, you know, Lifeson is like a weird name, but I don't know what to call it. Today's inspirational talks also give me a little, Anyways, if you like this, give it a like my page, go to theenergizeme.com where I have a blog where I write things and say things and I have ideas about life in general, and where I frequently deviate from the norm. I think that helps everybody. Deviate from the norm. Be original as much as you can. The sun is shining. It's still minus, but I will go out now. Have an awesome day. Thank you for being here. Bye for now.